Going to start recording. Just one sec.
Welcome to Photography Chat with Merlin. Photography Chat with Merlin.
Welcome to another episode of the chat. We've got Brisa with us here. It's season 3, episode 33. And you want to take a minute to say hi?
Hi, I'm Brisa. I'm pretty stoked that I'm on 333 right now. I feel like that's a magical, I don't know, triangle, another 3. I don't know. Yeah. Anything else I should say?
Yeah, it's like a mystic number or something.
Right? Yeah. One of my favorites.
I like it. It's better than some of the other combos out there. Like, there's some triple digit combos that make people a little squirrely.
Right. I feel like 333 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one. And you're out of the Bay Area, correct?
I'm out there. Yep, San Francisco. Been here going on 21 years.
Oh, wild.
No.
Where did you move there from?
Santa Rosa, just like an hour north.
Okay.
So I have a lot of my parents, my mom and stepdad and uncle and family up there, and I got some friends up there still too. So yeah,
that's cool.
Not too far.
So what brought you to San Francisco?
I hate to say it, but I was a teenager, so clubbing is what brought me to San Francisco.
So it was San Francisco that brought you in there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was a lot of the club scene. I love dancing, so that was where I wanted to be, and it was fun, and it still is. I still love going dancing, but that's. I realized like maybe 5 years ago that was like my actual reason when someone else asked me, and I was like, oh, duh, clubbing. Is that why everyone comes here?
Well, I mean, there's worse reasons to move somewhere than clubbing. It's dancing is good for you.
18, I just want that fun.
So what got you, like, how did you get started with photography?
That I got, well, I was given a camera by one of my aunts when I was little, in Mexico, just a little point and shoot, like Canon that I really liked, playing with. And I don't have it anymore, but, a long time ago, Matt from Glass T Photo actually had found one and gave me the exact copy of it. Cause he remembered I told him I had this special little red Canon point and shoot. So I really enjoyed that. But then my dad and my grandpa actually were really into photography when I was a kid, and growing up. So I have actually inherited all of their cameras, since then. My dad just doesn't do it anymore, and he gave me his cameras, and then grandpa passed away. So I got all his stuff, when that happened. But basically high school was what was super exciting. As I mentioned a little bit in my blurb, that's when I learned how to do traditional, darkroom printing, when they still taught it in high school, as part of the curriculum versus an after school option. So yeah, I just loved it. I loved making prints. That's one of my favorite things is printing.
Yeah, darkroom printing, there's a special magic to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's total magic. And I feel like color printing is even more magical. It either works for you or it totally doesn't. You can spend 4 hours working on one print and get something amazing, or just be bummed and hungry and leave. And try another.
So
that's what I used to do.
I've never tried color printing, but I love dark, black and white printing. It's it's a really cool thing.
It is. It's super magical, and I feel like not everyone has had the opportunity to explore it or had the option, or that's just not been part of their process with doing photography. So I think it's really cool that it's still alive for now, hanging in there, and that people can still like try and, I don't know, learn how to make prints. And then, it's really nice to take that tangible thing home with you, or to like give to somebody, and or to show off, or go like, I actually printed that myself. It's fun.
This.
It's nice. Yeah. Pardon?
It's like, I made this.
Right. I made this. Oh, my mom's
here. Brian calls you a print mistress.
Print mistress. Sweet. Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
So for no one that's like experienced it before, like, is there a big difference between color printing and black and white printing?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely not the best color or probably black and white darkroom printer, but I think color is much more challenging because you have to do everything in pitch black, so just firstly big difference. And then in black and white, you have the safe light, so you can actually like see what you're doing. But in color, you have to set everything up, get everything aligned, hope you're sticking your paper in the right place. At least that's what I always experience, even though you should be able to feel the easel and then turn it on and then go for it. And then you just adjust with the other colors to get it versus like filters. So like the cyan and magenta, like you have to play with the color shift in that. And so that was always hard for me because I feel like my eyes would just play tricks on me. Like after a while, like being like, is it too red? Is it too yellow? And you're like comparing it all the time. But when you get it dialed in, it's pretty cool because it's like so vibrant. Or you can make it, I guess, any color you kind of really want if you don't want to make it natural too. But
that's wild. Yeah, you have to do it completely in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, you can set everything up in the light, but like the once you pull the paper out, like it has to be pitch black. Like there's no safe light for it. So yeah, and then there's a processor that you put it in versus like trays because of that. So you just take your paper to this huge processor. I think it was called a Colex. Please don't anyone yell at me if I miss saying that name, but was the one that had at Rayco, and it's just this massive beast of a machine. And you shove your test strips in, hope you don't jam it by cutting them the right size, and then wait a few minutes, like literally almost 5 minutes, and then you go and you look, and you either are getting close, or you got it, or you're very far away from the finished product. So the time spent with it is also different. Yeah, I feel. Black and white, you can kind of get the gist, pull it out of the fixer after 30 seconds, just to look, right? Like, you don't only want to fix the print that long, and then, you get an idea, go back in, but yeah. Those are time consuming.
That's like the best part, at least when I was doing prints, was like when you have it in the tray and you see the image start to, pop up in front of you. That was like the real kind of magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did you learn it?
I learned it when I was living in Toronto. There was this place there called Gallery 44, and it's like a contemporary photography group or something like that. But it was like split between two things. So it's like the upstairs was this like art gallery filled with like, art people trying to fluff out their CVs and stuff. And then the basement was the production space where there was like dark rooms. There was a members dark room that was like a 4 or 5 year waiting list to like get on that one. You'd pretty much have to wait for like one of the other people to die before you could get a table in there. And then there's the teaching dark room that you could rent out for $6 an hour.
Oh, wow.
And I met this guy, Jeremy Lynch. He was doing portraits in Kensington Market in Toronto with an old handmade 5x7 camera from like, I think the early 1800s or something like that, from Berlin. Wow. And it was like one of those super old ones where it didn't even have a shutter. So he had this just like cap that would go over the brass lens, and he'd like pop the cap off and he'd like just count down, and then he'd put the cap back on. Yeah, and
that's super cool.
It was such a cool camera and an interesting experience because he was shooting everyone on paper, I believe. And then he scanned that into a book where he was interviewing car drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. And he made this book about how cars are ruining everything. And everyone's kind of like input from like the car drivers who are these soulless people that like want to murder the cyclists, and the cyclists who are just trying to like live their best life and not get run over by a hunk of metal and glass.
Right. I hear that. I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a very interesting cat, but he took a shine to me, and he was just like, hey, you should come check out this Gallery 44 thing and learn how to print. And yeah, he got me hooked. Like, it was just really cool. I spent like most of like 2018 and 2019 in the darkroom there, and then COVID happened, and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I finally just got back into the darkroom here at the Harvey Photo Center, just like, I want to say April, maybe. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, COVID really, that was like a favorite pastime, like obviously COVID, and it still is now, but it's kind of hard to coordinate my work life a little bit now with it, but I'm not in there as much as I used to be, but it's still nice to be able to go and like spend some time doing that.
And for your work thing, is that like a creative adjacent job, like related to photography, or something very different, or
my what?
Like your day job?
My day job? Yeah, no, totally different. I work at a veterinary hospital as a veterinary nurse. I'm an RVT, registered veterinary technician. Means I have a license versus non. So yeah, completely different, just in medicine all day long. So definitely not, and my artistic side doesn't really get to be used that much, but it does in different ways. Like but it's definitely, when I first started this job a million years ago, back in like 2005, or pre a little bit pre that, they used to develop all their x-rays by hand.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was really cool because it was like the exact same steps. You just shove the films into the processor, and it's like has its developer and fixer, and the room smelled like fixer, and I would like loved that. I probably shouldn't have loved that, but I did. I didn't mind going and processing all the x-rays, because it was like, oh, I know what this is, and I totally understood like right away how to do it, or like, hopefully not mess it up because you don't want to repeat the x-ray. But I thought that was like the only crossover I think I ever had. But we went to digital not long after I started there, so that's totally separate. But yeah, I've been a vet tech since 2005, basically early in the field since then.
Brian says meow, and JP says that they just shot some X-ray film on 8x10 not too long ago.
Oh, cool! That's right. You still have it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's super weird how it. Go ahead.
No, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say it was like super weird how that was like how we got our X-rays. You know what I mean? Like by developing it on these films, and I don't know, it was the similar process, but now it's digital, which is cooler for that purpose of using medicine, for sure. Like much faster process.
That's fair. Yeah. A little less intense.
Yeah.
What's been one of the most interesting things that's ever happened to you at work?
Oh, I don't know. There's been lots of different things. I'm trying to think. This one's really dorky, but it's the first thing that popped into my mind. It's like when famous people come in. I feel like that doesn't have anything to do with work, except that these people have pets and they've come to my workplace. But I have helped a few, I guess, famous, quote unquote, to me, very famous people, which I thought was interesting. But I guess, I don't know, it's not the most best story. I don't know. It's different. I used to work in emergency and referral practice, so there was a lot of really like super intense things that happened to me at work there, for good and bad, just because of the nature of the environment. So I would say like it was really nice to, like, it was really cool when you get those patients through whatever super challenging disease process or injury or whatever it was. And like, that was really awesome. And then at the place I'm at now, it's really nice to, even though this is like an everyday thing, it's really nice to see like really young, healthy, just like, I normally used to say I never get to play puppies and kittens, but now I actually do get to like see them and handle them and stuff and like watch them grow up and get bigger. And yeah, I don't think HIPAA applies to pets, but I probably can't say anything about like specific pets. But I did help and not that long ago that was a pretty severe case, and they were just like a little puppy then, and I got to see them like recently come back as like, you know, they're like 8 months old now, and I was like, oh my god, you know, like, yay, we got you through that, you know, crises, and it was nice to see them. So like that type of stuff is really exciting. But yeah, I can't think of any like super crazy instance that's like sticking out in my mind.
Yeah, it's gotta feel nice for that kind of stuff. When you were at emergency, how often did people bring their pets in after eating forbidden gummies?
Forbidden gummies. I don't know about specifically gummies, but definitely if anyone made like pets will find your stash. That's all I gotta say. If they won't, or they'll find your friend, or they'll find whatever is on the ground. So ingestion of various substances would happen pretty frequently. Yeah, I've seen interesting different drugs, and so it's kind of sad because, you know, like they don't understand what's going on, and you just kind of help them sort of ride that out. And then others, you just sort of support them as they need to sort of sleep and be just, you know, kept warm and cozy and, you know, clean and dry, and just kind of get them through that. But it does happen every once in a while. I would say not due to neglectful owners by any means. It's just they are very good at seeking out, you know, any sort of from, or, you know, especially off the street. It's like so quick it can happen. You're just like, what is going on with my pet? All of a sudden, yeah, you have those befuddled like owners that are just sort of confused and scared. And then, you know, I think sometimes it's a relief for them. They're like, oh, we think your pet ate weed. And they're like, oh, you know, thank God it's not.
Yeah, thank God it's not something more serious.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I think that always leaves them perplexed. Like, where do they get it? But yeah,
well,
hard to say.
So my ex-wife went through something like that with our Shih Tzus. So when we split up, she kept them, and it's a boy and girl. They were from the same litter. But the girl, she was super acrobatic. Like she was maybe like 11 pounds, and like she could do all sorts of crazy shit. Like the breeder was always pissed that she sold her because she didn't think she'd be a show dog, and the dog that she kept ended up being a dud. And every time we brought in our dog for a groom, she was like, this was the one. It's like, you can't have her back. Like, it's our dog now. Like,
yeah.
But she put them on a raw food diet a few years back because my boy dog, he got cancer, and we had to change some things around to sort of help him out. And, you know, he passed this year, but we got another like 3.5 years out of him. But it was like super weird when she put them on the raw diet. He was like trimming down, and she was turning into a little fucking sausage roll, and she couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on, like why she was gaining so much weight. And then she caught her one day. The cat, like they had these cats, and the cat food was like up on this like table, and she forgot something and came back. And as she was like walking back, she saw my dog May doing this acrobatic shit where she had to like jump across the couch onto like this counter thing, and then like walk across the counter onto this like ledge, and then jump over to the cat stand, and then from the cat stand jump over to the thing where the cat food was, and then was just fucking going to town on the cat food. And she was also confused because she's like, the cats are eating like 3 times the amount of food that they usually eat. And she's like, yeah, this is really weird for them. And she finally figured it out. This little fucker was just like going nuts on the cat food. And she thinks it gave her like a corn addiction or something, because like when she took the cat food away from her, then she started like tearing into like corn tortillas and shit if she found them like around the house. And like, so she had a little addict.
Yeah,
but
it's the carbs.
Needs the carbs. Hey, Dave. But Brian
Right.
had a question for you here.
Brian?
He wanted to know about the cyanotype on fabric.
Oh, right. So what he's talking about is I've actually to clarify, I've never done cyanotype ever in my life, which I do find kind of funny because I'm part of a group, like a cyanotype group here on Instagram with some other like fellow Bay Area buddies, and their stuff's amazing and impressive. But I got on the group because I worked with this UV reactive dyes. Um, I'd say I don't know 6 or 7 years ago. Whatever my normal time frame says +2, so maybe 7 to 9 years ago because of losing my all the 2 years of COVID. But started working with that, and so I worked with Lumi Inco dye, and then now I just use Solar Fast. But I contact print with different dyes onto fabric and clothes.
Drysdale photo says cyanotype gang in the house.
Yeah, he's in it too. His stuff's amazing. Yeah, does that make sense? So it's like very similar because it's contact printing, and then you have to like rinse it and all that stuff. But it's like lots of different color dyes that you can use. So that was like a fun alternative that I liked.
Do you have to do that?
I like
oh, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I just like experimenting with like different photographic processes. Like I like Polaroid transfers and lifts. Like I like just doing different things with that element of the element of photography. Yeah.
So for those like different dyes, do you have to do that in a darkroom, or where can you do that?
No, I just do it in my house. It's on my floor. Basically, I have like a whole like cardboard thing spread out. So the process is I'll like just say I use it on a t-shirt. So I'll like paint on the dye. It's kind of a fussy thing. We have to adjust it so kind of damp. Can't be like soaking wet, can't be dry. Because I did try different well, it doesn't matter. I tried various different ways of doing this to make it a faster process, but it's okay. So you paint it on. I just stick cardboard underneath so the dye doesn't soak through, and then I put the the negative in a piece of glass, and then I just set it out in the sun. So you can do it in your house. Like if my shades are drawn, I'll just do that, and then I started just doing it where I just sat it sort of like precariously in my window to expose it. Because in my old apartment, I used to just walk it downstairs up to the front. But it was always kind of weird, just like sitting out there with people, with like this cardboard and like a shirt and like glass and a negative, and people are sort of like, "What are you doing?" Or, I don't know. So it's kind of nice. I can do it just in my house and not have to like haul up and down the stairs. But it turns out really good. I mean, same thing. You want to have good quality. Negative. Oh, Brian rocks my fanny pack that I made. Good quality negative. So it's super cool. And then it's nice to see different color combos because they make like almost every color, like in the rainbow.
Dave was wondering, so he could contact print a 4x5 neg to a shirt.
I never tried it specifically with like actual like negatives. I did all enlargement. Sorry, there's a fire somewhere.
That's okay.
Sorry. I have never tried it with with anything that had a lot of detail. Originally, I was making, I think I want to call them list negatives, where you go and make like that larger, super contrasty negatives in the dark room. See what I'm talking about? Like negative onto this. I don't know what it is. It almost looks like what you put on a projector, like really clear piece of paper, or not paper, but it's just a really clear, I don't know, list paper. I'm sure I could dig it out from underneath my bed, but no one wants to wait for that. And then you make a contact print of that, so you had a positive and a negative, and then I just use the negative part. So it's something really contrasty. But I want to say I think some people have tried doing it with like larger print formats. It's just the dye seems to be really sensitive. So, and depending on how you apply it, like you might lose detail, like if you don't have like an even coating.
Mm.
Does that make sense? That's why I think it probably works better. Like Cyanotype works better on paper with like really nice negatives. I'm not sure the detail comes out the same in fabric. Hope that answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
But,
what led you into that?
Go ahead.
What led you into discovering that?
I literally walked into Glass Key Photo and I saw the dye and I said to Matt, like, what? You can like do this on fabric? And he was like, yeah. And I want to say, I think he said I was one of the only people that like got really, really excited about it and like kept, you know, coming back in to buy the dyes and stuff. And he was even, him and Gordon were rad and they let me have like a little workshop on it. I do that because I don't really know how to teach these things. So it was okay. It was good. Definitely a handful of people came out. So I feel it was very successful in that nature. Yeah, I even like tried to go over the process with people, but it's kind of a fussy medium. So I think I'd probably do a better job at explaining it now in person, you know, with examples and everything. But yeah, I just literally saw it in there and got like super excited to try it. Yeah,
that's really
cool. I was looking for onto fabric, and yeah. So
yeah, those samples that you sent looked really cool on the jackets.
Oh yeah, that was like my latest. Like I feel like I reached my peak, you know, of like what I could do because I got really excited about being able to bleach out on black because that was the only, I guess, the downside because it's not like screen printing where it sits on top. So you have to use lighter fabric choices, and that's like not everyone's jam. Everyone is always like, "Oh, can you put it on a black T-shirt?" And I'm like, "Well, no, because you won't be able to see it anymore." So then I was like, "Well, how can I do this and definitely make it like my own?" And I would definitely like the kind of like acid wash, bleachy, punky, you know, darker alternative type of looking clothing. So I bleached out the backs of different denims, and it actually that looks pretty cool. And then just had like a cream colored background to work with, and that worked out good. Yeah, so those are the two that I sent over because I'm like probably the most proud of those ones.
As you should be. They look really awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You're most welcome. So you started out with traditional photography in high school. How did you get into the Polaroid madness?
Polaroid madness. Well, I had a Polaroid camera since I was also probably a teenager. For sure, like 100%. I think my mom, either I or my mom gave me one. I've inherited lots of people's cameras, I think, with just the people like knowing that I like them. So like my stepdad gave me one as well, probably in my later teens, early 20s. But I feel like when Polaroid film was accessible, even if it was slightly expensive, like I remember once for my birthday, I think my mom gave me like a multi-pack or something that she had bought at Costco. You know, like, and I think she was slightly disappointed how fast I went through it because it went through like really fast. Just like, you know, screwing around and like taking ridiculous selfies and like whatever, 20-year-olds do. But yeah, I just have always loved Polaroids, right? Because it's like immediate, it's right there, it's in your hand. And that was just super fun. So I'd say if I didn't really use a film camera for a good few years in my early 20s just because my original one had broke and I hadn't quite inherited the other ones yet. So I want to say I used Polaroids, and then they were trying to get cute with the little like maybe a zone eye zone.
The eye
zone.
I don't know. Yeah.
One of my friends had that, so I was like super excited and into that. And so I don't know, it just kind of went on from there. And then I kept them all, and then as we've seen it come back around, it's pretty cool to be able to shoot it on like all kinds of formats now, you know what I mean? All different types of cameras. Like, I got a Polaroid back for like my huge medium for like 6x7 camera. And like, I'm super excited about that, because I can still use it in different ways.
Oh, did you get one of the graph lock backs?
No, I got it from, I don't want to misrepresent his name, so let me grab it really quick. I got it from. Sorry.
That's all right.
Lo-fi.
Okay.
Lo-fi DIY. Yeah, this guy.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I saw it in an instant. Ben's Instagram, that gentleman, and I was like, "What? That's amazing!" Because I've seen a lot for the RZ67 that people have been making, but I have an RB, and then and I want to say JP has one. I think might be
I mean, JP has
misremembering.
like everything.
He has everything, yeah. But he uses it all really well. I feel like he takes like some of the best photos of like at the photo walks of people, and I'm always like just like what when he just like hands them to you and gives them away.
He's a
I'm
pretty
always like,
talented guy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have that. But yeah, so yeah, I got that one, and I love it. So
have you gotten one of these cute guys yet?
Is that the little baby one where it's like this big?
Yeah, it's like I'm baby.
Yeah,
it has a little face. Look at it.
It's pretty cute. Yeah, I mean their thing is like point now. Like they know how to get the consumer in there. I think they got me. I don't have one of those, but I did see Brian had one of those on one of the walks not that long ago, and it was cute and tiny, and yeah. Looks like a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Like it's a very tiny photo, so you don't really get a lot of detail out of it, but it's a cool one to have like when you're doing photo walks or something like that, just to like give people something.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I would say the photo walks over the last like 9 years or so have definitely like kept the Polaroid thing going. I think that was also one of the coolest things I found here in the city that was going on.
Yeah, you guys have a great community there. Like I was surprised to see it when I came out for PolaCon 1, Bay Area 1. You know, right before the lockdown.
Yeah, that was the craziest weekend. I feel like that was a really amazing weekend where everyone's like, "Yeah!" Oh,
yeah, it's like
what happened?
Yeah.
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 On the pause, and then we just sat with it for a while. So yeah, so that was cool. I feel like that was super fun just to like meet you and a bunch of other people that just came from like all over. Like it was crazy. Same thing with this most recent one. I know you weren't able to come to it, but I met other people from Canada and like all over the place. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. And, the big group of people that came from New York, like that was really insane. And yeah, I was like, wow. Super impressed. Yeah.
That was my first like real FOMO of the whole pandemic. Like, I hadn't missed anything else, but like that one sucked. And the only reason I didn't go was there was still a testing requirement to come back into Canada at that point, and they removed it the weekend after. So it's just like,
yeah, that's crazy. I think Canada was tough. My dad lives up in Canada. My stepdad, mom live up north, but my dad lives in Canada, and so it was crazy. I only just saw him in June, and the last time I'd seen him was when he was visiting me during that PolaCon weekend. He happened to be in SF, so yeah, I didn't see him, for almost that 2.5 years. It was crazy. Yeah.
Instant Flamingo says that they got to meet you and they were blessed.
Oh, thank you. It was awesome to meet you there too. Yeah, super fun. I met so many cool people throughout PolaCon, and then just the photo walks. It's like more and more new people come like each time, it seems, and just like different people, and they hear about it from different parties, and so it's cool.
Yeah, and it looks like Polaroid J's been getting some good traction there with the San Jose ones.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah, which is super exciting. I like that's rad that like more is popping up. I know there's one in the East Bay as well. Like I just am terrible at remembering. I just feel so bad that I never freaking remember that they're like the weekend right after ours, but I think that one does well as well, like for sure.
I think Jay's
Despite
missing
that.
out on some good branding for like his photo walks though, because he should have like Polaroids and pizzas. So it's like you go out,
Pizzas?
yeah, because
Yeah.
his pizza
Yeah.
stories used to fucking kill me.
His what? His Insta stories?
His stories of his pizzas, like his pizza adventures look friggin' amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rad. Yeah. I love pizza as well. So I'd always be like, dude, I don't understand how you make that at home. Like, what?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
The passion that he has for Polaroids is only second to that of pizza.
Exactly. I feel like that's me and Kat.
How many cats do you have?
Oh, just one, but I love cats. Just one at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. I've had cats since I was 5. My birthday gift when I was 5 was 2 cats, a boy and a girl. So I have not been without cats since then, which is kind of crazy to think about.
That's fair. They're good company.
They are. They're amazing company. They're the best. I don't know where my senior dude went, but I'm surprised he's not yelling at me right now. He generally likes to be involved in conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never really a cat person until we adopted a feral cat a long time ago. And at first I was not a fan of him because he was kind of a dick because he was a feral kitten. Yeah. And my ex-wife was like, oh, we got to let him know that he's like part of the pack, part of the family. And so for like the first month he lived with us in the apartment, she would lock him in our bedroom with us and the dogs every night. And he's a fucking feral cat. So he's like nocturnal. So it's like, we didn't sleep for like a month because like he's up all fucking night, smacking us in the face, knocking shit over, attacking the dogs, like doing night moves. And yeah. He was such an asshole.
I was like, maybe no sleep was happening there. Yeah. I probably would have done the opposite and locked him in the bathroom overnight just so he could like have his chill out time. And
that probably would have been a good idea. We moved into like a house where he had like a yard, and she was like, "Okay, we have to wait like." It was like 2 or 3 weeks before he could go outside. She's like, he needs to know this is like his house before we let him outside. And then he like escaped on the second day, and she was absolutely distraught about it. And I was like, oh no, the cat's gone. I hope he comes back.
And that's cool. I feel like people have to, I mean, they're not all the same by any means. I know that some are more challenging to interact with than others, but if you meet like those certain cats that like one of my old cats like definitely made people like cats. Like, and I think it's because he was sort of more like a dog. And so I feel like people that vibe more with dogs, if they like meet kind of like a dog cat, like then they're just like, whoa, you guys can be super cool. Cause like he did all the things, and his brother, who I still have, they still do. He lets you touch his belly. You can pick him up. He would like have a conversation with you. Like it's like much more interactive than just like the quiet, pretty, fluffy thing sitting on the chair in the sun. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more interaction. So I think that made people excited.
I get a kick out of those cats that like pant like dogs. Those are hilarious.
Oh, I'm not sure I've really seen that. I was gonna say, but my like work brain was like, cats shouldn't be panting. Depends on what context that's happening, but I mean, I can every once in a while, but it's not their normal by any means. Yeah.
No, like so, his name was El Jefe because he was the boss, and Jefe, he came back after a week, and he was just like fucking filthy and like matted in blood. It wasn't his. Like he just like went on a fucking murder spree for like a week, and then was like the chillest cat ever. He was like so cool and like wicked awesome. He just needed to go murderize a bunch of shit, and then he was like fine. And then he would just do that every once in a while. He just like fuck off for like a week and then come back and just like, be super chill. And I liked him a lot. He was a cool cat. She adopted one of his brothers from a different father a couple years later after we split up, and he was also a big ginger kitty. And Hefe taught
Mhm.
Buster, who I don't like. Buster's kind of an idiot, but he taught Buster how to like fight and be like an enforcer. And we used to call them
Okay.
the Ginger Kitty Mafia, because like when she moved
Yes.
back into our house after I left, the two of them fucked off for like a week, and all she heard was cat fights every night the whole time they were gone. And it was just like Hefe was like taking him around, being like, "All right, bro, we gotta like show the neighborhood that like the Ginger Kitty Mafia runs this shit." And
Oh my god.
he was a cool cat. So I kind of miss him, but.
Uh,
Where is it? Instant Flamingo says that he has a cat that hates the SX70. Not a joke. Gets so upset when she sees one, and especially with the shutter noise.
oh no. I feel like, well, yeah, they can be sensitive about certain things.
I wonder
Yeah.
what it is about the camera that it hates.
I mean, certain pets, you know, I don't know, animals, people, whoever, they don't like cameras being pointed at them. They don't like you know, it seems like they just don't like that sort of like, you know, focus, or I don't know if it makes them feel threatened. Who knows?
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. That was my first thought to it. But that's interesting that it's not, just not even into looking at it. Just like doesn't want to see it and runs away.
I mean, like the SX70 does have a pretty aggressive sound to it when you fire one, with like, you know, the mirror flap and like the motors running and stuff. So I can see that being upsetting to an animal.
Yeah. I've never had the pleasure of owning one. I have a 680, but I've never had a SX70.
Well, I mean, it's
They
like
seem pretty
same difference pretty much.
similar. That's how I figured it, and I like that. I like the one I have has like the sonar, so I like that. Wearing glasses, I sort of hate focusing. A lot of times, especially if I don't want to. I don't wear contacts, so then I just like don't wear my glasses half the time. So yeah, I like the sonar or anything like that that like helps me make sure I'm focusing on the right thing. Yeah.
Well, in this, like this 680 is a fun party camera too, because of the sonar. You could like roll into a party that's like dimly lit and take the most amazing in focus, bright exposed photos ever.
Right.
You may burn some retinas out though.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's definitely not a joke. I would say even more so, or not even more, but even more is a big shot. Did you ever shoot with one of those?
So I have a big shot. I've never been able to get it to work right because I can't find flash bulbs. And then I like bought a thing to try and hook it up to like an external flash, and then I gave up on that. But Theory of O'Brien has shot me with his, and that thing was vicious. Like it was just it was so mean.
I definitely, anyone that comes to my house, I still have some tack on for it. So anyone that comes to my house, I like shoot them with it. But unfortunately, sometimes it's like me shooting a couple times because the bulbs are like finicky, and sometimes the thing isn't like firing the bulb. And I've had like I think two now because the last one I had like broke. And anyway, but I definitely you burn some retinas, some like people are just like, whoa, like because it's insane. I don't know why they ever did that in general, like why they had to make it so aggressive. But I mean, it's beautiful, the images you get, but holy crap. Like,
I feel like whoever invented that at Polaroid might have been a sadist.
Yeah. Just, getting that. Oh, someone said the big shot slaps you in the face with light. That, yes, exactly.
Just 1 second. I will be back in 1 minute. Just a moment.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, all the Bay Area peeps, the non-Bay Area peeps. Anyone have any questions? More questions? Brian, I also love that Oscar kept hearting everything. Thank you, Oscar. Is that a request to keep talking about cats?
Oh, hi. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I've been messing around with video because I'm trying to do some like YouTube shit. And I have like this Fuji X-T2, which is great at doing like 4K video, but it doesn't have stabilization. So if I try and like walk around with it, I made some video that almost made me throw up because it was like so jerky. So
Jerky.
yeah, so it's just like picking up a lens that's got stabilization in it. So hopefully that'll make my videos suck a little less.
Yeah.
With any luck.
Well, just that's nauseating, hey? Let's need for some, yeah.
A little bit.
Dramamine.
Oh, my brother's in here with my niece. Hey, Coco, what's up?
Cool.
And then, okay. Did you get any of these questions here?
I asked if anyone had any questions, and I'm trying to figure out if the last one says keep the cat talk. Keys keep cat talk. I wasn't sure if that was a request for more cat talk or
so someone said, question, how do I get my cat to stop attacking my film changing bag?
Oh, I didn't see that at all. I would say maybe put them in another room when you're doing that.
Yeah, because I feel like that's just like torture for them to just like see like a thing going like that. They're just like, I want to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to play. It's like tying your shoelaces in front of them, you know?
Yeah.
Like my literally still grabs them. And he's like 16. He's wild. I mean, I think they're just like have that play energy forever. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe distract them with treats. Or do it where they can't grab you and try and get you while doing it.
Instant Flamingo wants to know, what is your favorite film?
What's my favorite film? SP4.
Really?
Go for it, SP4. Yep.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
What about favorite color film?
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So EVS Hexachrome EVS 100.
Oh, getting old school there.
Yeah. Okay. So, but that's because I was into it a lot when I went through my like super cross processing phase. When I started getting into like lomography cameras, and that's actually how I started even with like medium format. Like I still have a Holga and Diana and all of these different, different Lomo cameras. So I would do all the cross processing with slide film. So that's probably my favorite, and I'm super sad that that is no longer available. But yeah, I don't know. I like that. I'm on the train. I like that Kodak Gold, the 200. That's actually really nice, I think too. But I like slide films. I've been still using expired slide film, and just doing it normal E6, and like the colors are just insane. Yeah. It's crazy. But black and white, yeah, FP4 or HP5, but probably FP4 if I have enough light.
I do like HP5.
Yeah.
It's a nice one. I'm a real sucker for Eastman XX.
Oh, I don't think I've ever used that.
Ooh, it's nice. So it's like if T-Max and Tri-X had a baby.
Okay.
Because it's got like the really nice yeah, so it's got the like really nice contrast that T-Max has, but then the fine grain of Tri-X.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. I'd say I like T-Max as well. Yeah.
The T-Max 3200 is like one of my favorite films because it's just so gritty. Like it's got like a really nice grit. Like it's almost gravelly sometimes with some of the shots you get with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I haven't shot with anything that fast in a long time, but I used to. That's right. I feel like Ilford makes one too, right?
Yeah, Ilford makes a 3200. But I don't know. I don't like it as much as the Kodak. Like I think I prefer HP5 to like some of the Kodak black and whites, but the P3200 just like kind of slaps differently. Like it's a cool one.
Cool.
And then Casey wants to know, what are you most excited to create next?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm just trying to get my sea legs back with getting back in the darkroom. So I'd say probably just trying to maybe get better or get back to printing really big. Like I want to do like by 24 and like actually have like a really dope print from that. So I feel like that's probably my next. It's just darkroom stuff. I mean, it's stuff I've done, but I don't think I have any like big projects, but just maybe going bigger with printing and feeling more confident with it.
That's pretty cool. Is there any other like any projects you've done that really stand out in your mind that you've been stoked about that you want to like toot your horn about a little bit?
Oh, well, I did something that pushed myself out of my comfort zone, which was shooting some engagement photos for some old coworkers / friends. And that I've only done one other time, and I apologize to Stephanie and Matthew, the first couple I shot. I don't think those images ever made it onto. I was like, oh my God. I just didn't know what I was doing. And not to say that I have any capacity good at professional photography in that sense. But this time I felt a lot better about it. And I was actually like happy with maybe about 15 images out of like 5 different rolls, or like total. So maybe roughly 75 images. So I feel like, guess that's 60 that sucked, but it's still like way better than all of them being terrible. And I just appreciated the opportunity to do it. Right, like one of the couple had just hit me up because they really like my style from different portraits I've done of like with friends. It's always like people I know. I never really shot strangers before, like as a portrait session. So that probably lends itself to the comfort level and like the element that is in a lot of the portraits I have on my website or that I've shown. But they liked what I did, and they also felt that it wasn't going to be like cookie cutter. So they asked me to do it, and I was like, okay. And it was fun. It was an interesting experience for me. I'm not sure that I'll do it again too often. Just because I don't want to promote myself as like being really good at that or being able to produce that repeatedly, but just because it's just not my forte. It's very stressful, but it was fun. Yeah. So that was probably the most recently exciting thing I've done.
Well, I think you deserve a round of applause for that.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. And then not much else. I think I just need to plod through the ridiculous amount of film I have still to yet develop sitting in my fridge. That's probably my next adventure.
Yeah, so I'm pretty good about like getting rolls developed. Because I'm usually impatient to see like what's on them. But there was these 2 rolls of Fomapan reversal that I kept saying I would send to DR5 to get done, and I didn't. Like I've been sitting on them for like over 3, like maybe like almost 4 years. And then I was just like, whatever, fuck it. I brought it to my local lab, and they're like, oh, we can't do this in like slide. I'm like, I don't care. Just like fucking process it and whatever you can fucking process it. And just like, I don't even know what's on the roles anymore. So that was also part of why I didn't want to like spend, and I'm glad I didn't like put the effort and money to get it done by DR5, because these roles wouldn't have been worthy of his effort. But have you ever been triggered by photos before?
Oh, sure. I mean, well, how about you tell me on how you were triggered it, and I'll see if I thought of meaning.
Well, it's just these were from like a different time that was like, it was happy at the time, and then it ended like catastrophically, and it's like something I've really tried to like sort of push out of my mind, because I just I've processed it enough to be like okay with it, but I don't really like want to go like all the way through and like, you know, just like distill it down. And yeah, I totally forgot what was on these, and it was like all of that, and I was just like, ooh.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, people that are no longer with us show up on, you know, rolls of film. Yeah, exactly. Different parts of your life where you're like, I don't think I even remember who I was at that time when this picture was taken. You're just sort of like, whoa, the amount of change and growth and whatnot that's happened. Yeah. But part of me, even though you can get caught off guard because you don't know what's on there, part of me is always sort of like appreciative of the fact that you did document that moment. Maybe if it's something really awful, no. But but you know, just like I don't know, I think my cat that passed away a few years ago, I literally just got some rolls of film back and he was on it, and I wasn't expecting to see it. But it's just one of those, even as simple as that, where you're like, oh, hey, guy. Like, hey, dude, how's it going? You know, like it's a familiar face, or like a grandparent, or, you know, something like a friend that is no longer with you. You know, it's like kind of cool that you like, maybe you still have the memory of it, and then maybe you're like, holy crap, I totally took a picture of this, and that's cool to have it. Or you didn't remember you took the picture, and now you do have like a different memory that you can reflect on, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes, yes, it is a little jarring. You're like, oh, this role. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, alrighty. Yeah.
I saw a few
maybe we'll look at.
pictures, and then I was like, okay, I know what is on this roll now, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do appreciate, I do sort of appreciate that element, you know, to help you reflect, if for nothing else, you know.
Yeah, I think
maybe wait.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Then. Oh, is it for reflection purposes, like maybe where you are now versus then, especially if it was something sort of not the happiest moments, like, you know, you didn't stay in that place forever, you know, you're in a different spot now.
Yeah, and it's not that they weren't like unhappy moments. It's just like, you know, the circumstances around it kind of thing. And you know, it's something that I never really had to face much before until like after my separation, when I started kind of like venturing out on my own and like, you know, living life again and failing and learning and all this stuff. And I've ended up, I have this like little gray cardboard IKEA box that is like a holding ground kind of thing. It's like all the stuff that I want to destroy that I feel like I don't want to ever look at right now goes in the box, because I'm like, someday I'll probably want to be able to see those and appreciate that I have those and be glad that I didn't light them all on fire. Cause like right now I want to like just, you know, light that box on fire.
Yeah.
And
I've definitely.
What's that?
We have a keep. I said I've done both. I've set some things on fire, and I've also, you know, I have a whole huge Tupperware bin of photos from like childhood through late 20s, early 30s, where there's, you know, every every type of memory in there, especially exes, you know, things like that. It's interesting where you're like, I just kind of compile it, and this is that baggie for them, and that's in there, and that was my part of my life. No, not in a bad way, by any means, with all of them or anything, but it's just like, okay, like this is this sort of like experience with that person, and yeah, I do that mainly don't accidentally keep going through and finding random photos of people you're like not interested in sort of showing around. So it felt better to like kind of put them all together and like they have their own little, you know.
Yeah, I've had to do that on my phone too, because I've got like an iPhone, and one of the latest updates does that like recommended photos or whatever. It's like for you photos, where it's like it goes through your like albums and shit, and I've been notorious at like deleting photos off of my phone for like the last like 8 years. I just keep buying a bigger phone. Like I started with like a 32 gig phone, and now I have like a fucking 512 gig phone, because I'm just like, why delete things when I can just buy a bigger phone on the next refresh? And then when this thing started doing that, I was like, this is why I need to delete shit, because I don't want it showing me all of these things.
Yeah. Side note, that is exactly how I put together, or I didn't put it together, my phone did it, that video of the PolaCon from that I put on Instagram not that long ago. My phone was like, this day, this memory, and I was like, oh cool, it's like a total little like synopsis or whatever of a glimpse of sort of the first PolaCon Bay Area here. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna keep that cheesy song you put with it. I thought it was amazing.
It is like I posted a couple from PolaCon 3 and PolaCon 4 down in Texas, and it was like the same thing. My phone was like, hey, I think you'd like these memories. And I'm like, you know what, phone? I do. Good job.
I did. Yeah, exactly. I just buy unlimited space on the cloud for my photos because I don't delete any of them, and it's sort of ridiculous how many I have on my phone. Yeah, and plus it's like shared on my computer, so then everything I like scan ends up in like the same area. So it's kind of crazy, kind of nice because I can access those photos. But it's kind of also just like insane that I have them on my phone where I don't really need them all there. But I don't have the capacity to go through and delete.
It's a
like,
lot of work.
Edit. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah,
like with my
it's
Instagram, I have like over 7,000 photos on my Instagram feed, and
wow,
it's just because I don't want to go through and clean it. It's
yeah.
Let's see how many you have. I'm curious.
Oh my god, I don't.
You got almost 4,000 posts. You're at a solid 3,756 posts. That's respectable.
Okay. I haven't posted too many posts in a while. I got really into stories, but then, yeah, and then I like posts too. I don't know.
I do all of my shit posting in stories because like my post feed is like for photography stuff now, and I don't really put like personal stuff in there. So I just do all of my shit posting and personal stuff in the stories now, or on my like personal Instagram, which I do not attend to as often as I probably should.
I've thought about separating the accounts, but because I'm private, so I to some degree know almost everyone or have met them or something, you know what I mean, for who is following me, or have a vague idea of what it is. So I thought about separating the photography element from the private, but I don't know that I have the bandwidth to keep them both going. So for now, we're keeping it together.
Well, you know what you're really missing out on by having a private account?
What?
All of the amazing Bitcoin people that are offering you thousands of dollars if you just give them all of your personal information.
Good. The only experience with Bitcoin is during speed dating once. The gentleman explained to me what it was. And that is the only reference I have to Bitcoin. It was a 2-minute conversation earlier, speed dating, but yeah.
I think that you probably got the most succinct explanation of Bitcoin ever from that man at speed dating.
Right. It's me. So I just sort of in one ear out the other, because it was so not, my brain was just what? I just can't even, I like tangible stuff, you know what I mean? So it's
but it's free money.
Fake money. I just use fake. I think that's what it is in my mind. But Yeah.
So how do you feel about NFTs then?
I don't think I know what that is. Is that sort of like,
It's like Bitcoin art.
Bitcoin art, right? Like someone
Yeah.
else can own your art that you've made.
Yeah,
I don't really
it's
understand.
like you mint your art as like a currency or something like that. And then like people buy the privilege to like access that link. And it's supposed to be like non-fungible, but it's totally fungible. Like there's so many people that have like fucking proven how dumb it is.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not going to get on other people's grinds. My favorite thing though that I've seen so far about NFTs is someone like, unquoted it and it's like NFT, no fucking thanks.
Nice.
And I was like,
Nice.
yeah, I could get behind that. I understand that one. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. I think I'd probably say no thank you to that too. I like stuff in hand, I like old things. Like I got like a million VHS tapes still. I got records, you know what I mean? Like I love old analog things. So like sort of like space art that someone else can access like only in one capacity is like weird to me. Like just buy it.
Well, and then now there's these like NFT galleries, which are just like literally like rooms with TVs in them where they just like show it on there. And I was just like, ugh. It made me realize that I'm like, okay, I'm like officially old now because I feel like that fucking guy in his boxers in his like front yard being like, get off my damn lawn, you fucking hooligans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm just like, I think eternally perplexed by anything with the computer. So like an online gallery with like a room full of TVs is like, what? Like, I guess I would see it as like interesting art pieces, like as an installation piece in itself, but maybe not for what was on it, Like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
no, that makes sense.
Sounds as a concept as just like its own sort of like art piece, but not to actually look at weird digital art TV in a gallery that I can't own or that, or however it works.
It's the future, bro.
Maybe. Huh?
It's the future.
It's the future. Well,
but speaking of tangible things, Casey had another question for you. Fuck, marry, kill, Polaroid camera edition.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've never been asked that. I'm like, what?
What's up, Cromwell? No souls to steal here today.
Fuck, marry, kill. So that's like who I would, with the camera I would sleep with.
Yeah, so like which Polaroid camera would you fuck, and which one would you marry, and which one would you kill?
Oh my god, sounds brutal to have to want to kill one.
Well, you could just make it really easy and just choose Spectra because they already killed that one for you.
Right. Okay. So right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. The photo of me that it was used for this image, the one that Brian took, was like the most anticlimactic fucking photo because I was trying to take one of him at the same time, and I'd been hoarding this Spectra film for like fucking years. And then we're like, okay, we're gonna take one at the same time, and then like nothing happened with mine. The whole thing was a dud. Okay, kill Spectra, even though it's like if Spectra was still a thing, I would marry it. Like that was my favorite. I don't know. Like
it was so good.
It was so good.
But then, like, just like you said, it was so disappointing. Like, I had like fucking 20 or so packs of like Spectra that worked. The batteries were dead, but like the film worked. But I just, every fucking time I tried to use it, it would just shit the bed on me. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I want to love you because you're so great when you hit, but like you just fuck me every single time. I'm like, I'm all excited and I'm giddy and I like, but then it's just like you don't eject right, or you like fucking you eat the frame, or like you just don't work at all. And it's like, fuck you, Spectra. Anyways, sorry.
Let's see. I'd probably marry the 680 because I feel like it's like tried and true. You know what I mean? Like we'll be there for you. And then I don't know about maybe a big shot just because it's just like ridiculous. There's no side jokes in that situation either. It's just, it's just so weird. It's like a great camera for what it is, but it's not something I want to use all the time.
That's fair. Yeah, so it's like that I think that makes sense for like a fuck one. Yeah.
No quotes on that one, please. No one like no have any audio from that. I've never been asked that question before, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I've never been asked that one either. I think I would also have to kill Spectra.
Yeah.
I would marry Pack Film because I just can never give it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like my for sure. Anything that took that and was great.
And then
yeah,
I would fuck 8x10 Polaroid because it's just like sloppy and like expensive and extravagant and like decadent and yeah.
Okay. Oh, your answers are way better. I feel like I just sort of like picked of what I had, but I didn't really think about like, oh, I could, I could sleep with these other ones, like,
okay,
that's
well,
just what I have.
Here's a redo. So you can take another stab at it. If you want.
That's it. I'm just gonna copy you.
It's mostly just because I'm like super in love with 8x10 right now because I shot it for the first time the other weekend and just like mind blown.
I have never shot it, but I've had my picture taken with it, and it's fucking rad. It seems super rad.
It's super rad. Like I've had a processor and film for like 2 years. But I've just never had a camera because like the camera's so fucking expensive. And after I spent all that money on the processor, I couldn't afford a camera. So I rented one though the other weekend because we were having open studios here at the studio where I do the podcasting and other stuff. And it was just so cool. Like kind of it was a way too wieldy camera for me. Like I just because it was like a big 8x10 rail cam and I definitely am not going to buy one of those because that's way too much camera for me. Like I'll probably get like a field 8x10 or something. But at the next PolaCon, if you could like convince Vince or Brian to let you take the helm on an 8x10 for a shot, you should get them to do it because it's a lot of fun. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel like I could. Yeah, just feel like let me just try. Like any large format photography is like super like intimidating, but like super interesting. Like I don't know if I'll dip my toes into that area anytime soon, but it is like I always appreciate like really large, like photographs. Like I said, I want to really blow up my images that I have. I like seeing that big, nothing small. Like I don't like looking at anything tiny, especially with photography. I feel like it's impressive in painting, but with photography, I'm always like, why couldn't you make it a little bit bigger? But so doing it like large format seems like something I would probably just like get really crazy down the rabbit hole with. But like, I don't really get it, so I feel like I'm like safe for now. Like I think it's like an extra learning curve that I'd have to get over.
So what you're saying is you're a photography size queen.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I just like looking at large. Yeah, like I used to never print anything smaller than like 16x20. Like I just felt like if I like being able to get up close to it. I think that's all. So I like, the 8x10 Polaroids and anything that can be printed huge.
I got offered a 20x24 camera before I left Toronto, and
wow,
I kind of regret not buying it because it was like a custom made Deerdorf and it was beautiful, and the price was insane, but it was just so massive. I literally have still nowhere to put it because it was just so beastly. Like it would take up room. Well, it would take up the studio I have right now if I like brought it in here. Just like it would dominate like, probably a good quarter of the space just by like existing. But it would be cool to have a space to do something like that and do like tintypes or like, direct positive or like something with it. Like that would be really cool to play with one day.
That's cool. Yeah, that would be really rad. Yeah. There was at Rayco Photo Center where I used to go print color, and like I also retook a color darkroom class. There's someone named Audrey, and she was super rad a long time ago. But they had like an entire, you could print like wall sized images. Like you could bring in roll paper and you could project it, and you could do these like just absolutely massive color prints. And I thought that was so cool, the people that were able to do that. And like, you know, but I never took the class on how to do it, and then they closed a while ago. And
how the hell would they process something that big?
Because the processor had like a certain width that you could take. So if it was that width size, you could fit it through there. So, but you could print really, really big prints. I don't know. I only saw it happen a couple times, but it was crazy. how big, what the size that came out of there. It was cool.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Wish I learned it, but oh well.
Yeah. I mean, there might be other opportunities.
Maybe someone will build a really big color darkroom somewhere in the Bay Area, close by. That would be rad. They could bring that back. But I know
Brian, build a big space.
Brian. Yeah.
You got a room at Underdog, right? You could he could fit it in there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That'd be good.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Is there any other projects you're thinking of working on in the near future, or things you're looking forward to as you spread your wings photographically again?
Not really. Oh, it sounds boring, hey? Not really.
Boring is best.
I feel like does this woman even take photos? I don't know. Nothing really. I mean, I feel like this past month was the most I've done in years, which was wild. So there was the group photo show for the members and staff and volunteers at Harvey Photo. So I was in that, and then there was a pop that's still up, by the way. You guys can go check it out.
You should throw a plug for it.
What does that mean?
Just
type it in the.
No, just shout it out.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. It's at the Harvey Photo Center. You can go see it when their hours are open, and they're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 to 8:30, and Saturday, I think 11 to 4. And if I got that wrong, I'm sorry, but yeah, those are the days they're open. But yeah, I think there was 100. I hope I'm not misquoting. I thought there was maybe 130 pieces in it. It was pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah, the volume of work that was in there, and it was I think one of the best shows that they've ever had as there in general as the member and staff and volunteer show. It was crazy. A lot of really impressive work.
That's very cool.
So that in July, and then I was in another show a week later, and that was also in July, and and then the engagement thing, and I was holy crap, I'm doing something literally every weekend, and I did hardly anything for a couple of years with it. So I don't think I'm past my exciting project, but I feel like I've just recently had a lot of excitement, so I'm just riding that wave still, and I think trying to think of what I want to do next. That's
fair. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You just take some time for yourself.
Yeah. Just getting used to it. I keep digging out more cameras from my camera hutch. I was looking at my camera hutch and wanting to shoot with that as I'm realizing other cameras are broken. I need to have them repaired. So I think I'm rotating through, playing with some new stuff I haven't ever shot with before.
Oh, that's kind of cool. What kind of stuff are you having on the docket there to play with?
There's this Olympus semi or pretty automatic 35 millimeter I have. It's kind of has a zoom lens. It's one that my grandpa gave me that I've literally never worked with because I don't know. It's not super manual. Like there's a lot that is auto. Like you can just push a button and set it, and it's like a fancier digital camera for back in the day from like the 90s. So
Okay.
it's like receipt is from 1994 when he purchased it in there, and I thought that was amazing because he still has it with the instructions, like with the camera case. And I think I never used it because I just thought of it as like kind of a big clunky point and shoot. But now my point and shoot's dead, so I'm trying to figure out a way to sort of have a more faster reflex camera than like full manual.
What
That makes sense.
was your point and shoot that died on you?
I had the Olympus like stylus epic, the little black Olympus stylus.
Oh, the one that's worth like $1 billion now because of all the hipsters.
Yeah, my third one. It's totally nothing's in focus. It's weird. I went and talked about it, so I think I might have dropped it or something happened where it just sort of knocked apparently something slightly out of focus. So it's kind of a bummer because I put a lot of rolls through that camera and I'm not quite sure when it happened. So
sort
of the things of, oh yeah, exactly. I might have a roll of film that's slightly nothing's really in focus, but nothing's like super out of focus. It's just like a softness to it, which is sort of annoying. I'd taken it to this music festival and I was trying to, I guess this is something I'm trying to do, be more comfortable of taking pictures of strangers, especially people that I find are like fun or interesting or something. So I went to a music festival that was alternative, like super gothy, kind of darker. And I loved it because there's so many very interesting people in that sort of like punk alternative goth subculture. A lot of effort goes into, the look of everything. So I was trying to take all these photos of people and then I got the roll back and everyone's like slightly out of focus, which I mean, some of them still turn out good, right? Like, it has a look to it, but I was just like, holy crap, like literally all of these frames, everyone's picture is like slightly, everyone's face is like slightly out of focus. So I decided I shouldn't put any more rolls through that because it's probably just like broken. And I'm going to hang on to it just for like whatever. I have it, but it's also been taped. It's like taped with gaffer's tape for like the last couple of years.
You've definitely gotten your money out of it.
I definitely have gotten out of it. Yeah. I'm on the lookout for a different, like, smaller compact point and shoot, but I think I'll mess around with this Olympus one for a minute just to, even though it's big, just to like have something to play with.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm sad it broke though. Like I said, it's my third one, so clearly I love it, but that type of camera. But
they're great little cameras. I just can't believe how expensive they are now.
Yeah, I can't afford them anymore. So like at all. Yeah.
I don't think I have a point and shoot anymore. I sold my last one. It was a really nice one too. I regret selling it a little bit, but it went to a really good home and she loves it a lot and she like posts how much she loves it all the time. So it's like I'm glad that it went to a good home. But
being used.
I think the only thing I have it's like point and shoot is like Lomography simple use camera. I think it's at home, it's not here. But that's kind of a cool camera because it's like just one of those like disposable jobbies that you can like put rolls of film into instead of just throwing it in the garbage.
Nice. Yeah, anything fancier with like a nice glass lens, I'm always like, shit, that got too expensive. I cannot afford that like at all anymore. I don't think I ever could, but with the way it's gone, but it's kind of cool.
It's gotten so much worse. Because like a lot of the stuff I have now, I would have never been I couldn't buy it now. Like it's just too crazy. Even in the last like 6 months, some of the stuff that like I bought is like way more expensive now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I like that film is staying alive, but I don't love the price point it's at right now. I would like it to sort of like peak and then come back down a bit and sort of plateau at a more, consumer level of affordability if
Wishful
possible.
thinking.
Yeah, wishful thinking. Yeah, fingers crossed. That'll happen. But yeah.
Well, it's been a lot of fun chatting with you. I appreciate you, taking some time out of your day. I know we had to jiggle things around a bit with your work schedule, so I really appreciate that. And
thank you. I know it's a bit.
I'm. Are you going to be able to make it to the Texas PolaCon or just the Bay Area ones?
Oh, just a bit. And unfortunately, the Texas one, my birthday is that same week. But it's a kind of a big birthday, so I'm that. So
is it like big 25?
Yeah, I'm gonna be turning 25. That's exactly. Yeah, no, it's 40. So
oh shit,
my big 40th.
That was last year for me, and it felt kind of weird a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having some meltdowns about it, but really about it, but just I love getting people together for birthday, and so I think it's just the stress of figuring out the planning of it and all the things. But I've always liked my birthday, so it's not that. It's just more finding the time to figure it out, but trying to have it But I think I got it worked out well. I'm gonna be spending good time with friends and family. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. But maybe the next one, because I definitely wanted to always check out the Texas one, considering it's been going strong for a while, right? 8 years, 7 years.
This is PolaCon 7 this year. So
okay, PolaCon 7.
7 years.
Yeah, that seems fun, and I've never been to that part of Texas, so that's always interesting. I love going to new places, so I feel like that would be really cool to see.
Denton is such a cool little town. I think you'd really enjoy Denton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going down because it's been so long since I've seen a lot of my Pola pals that didn't make it out to the Bay Area one the first time. And yeah, I was just talking with Daniel and Andy last night, and I'm going to do a live chat panel thing there of the thing. So I'm going to bring all the podcast shit down, and I think that'll be kind of fun too. Get Brian up on stage and a few other people, and yeah. Well, I'll definitely.
They're really sweet guys.
Oh, what's that?
I would say they're really sweet guys, Daniel and Andy. They're really cool. They're really it's really rad that they put that together, and then they're able to do that with Brian here in the Bay Area. It's super rad.
Yeah, they're super duper cool, and I think Armand and I are going to drive down. He's going to fly up to Seattle, and I'll pick him up there. And
cool.
I think we're going to try and go through LA on the way down. So we'll be driving through the Bay Area. So depending on the time, want to see if maybe get a few people together to, say hi as we're driving through.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Let us know if you put that together for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll let you know. But thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a lot of fun. And is there anything you want to say to the folks before we wrap up?
No, thanks everyone for tuning in. My comments sort of froze, so I couldn't see any extra questions. So sorry about that. I couldn't see anything else that I was writing, but I appreciate anyone tuning in, and hope you all like the kitty cat conversation. Something to talk about endlessly. I know we signed in for photography, but
Well, so the thing with it is it's kind of about photography, only in the sense that I'm a photographer, you're a photographer, and that's how we know each other. But
got it.
I like learning more about the people and what drives them, what interests them, what motivates them and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, if you want to do a gear talk, we can find you another podcast for that one.
Got it. Okay. I was well, I'm fine talking about all of this. I just don't know what people are tuning tuning in for, but it's been fun. It was really a pleasure talking with you. So thank you again for having me.
No problem.
And,
Thank you for being here.
Thanks. And thanks again for working around my work schedule. So sorry, anyone that's tuning in from different time zones. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's not a problem at all. This
Cool.
is not the weirdest one I've had to do. And yeah, it all works out. But I'll walk us out here. And thank you again.
Okay.
And thanks everyone for tuning in and spending some time with us. Next week, we're going to have Casey Wright on here with us, who is in the chat as Right Angle. Looking forward to having them on there. They're another Polaroid photographer with some really fantastic work. So be sure to cruise by next week. And if you're heading to Texas, let me know. Be cool to catch up. Well, have a great week and take care of yourself.
Right. Thank you. You too.
Bye, Brisa.
Bye. Bye.